Housing authorities in the United States have been accused of covering up the presence of lead in New York homes. The city has vowed to fight the problem, but another public health scare concerning the poisonous metals now come to the forefront after high levels of lead were found in the city's drinking water. Caleb Mopin reports from New York.
It's been revealed that in certain areas of New York City, the water supply is contaminated with lead. Now, according to two separate investigations, one by Reuters news agency, the other by local officials, it appears that the problem could be even bigger than in Flint, Michigan, which became notorious for its poisoned water supply back in 2014. Here in New York City, we have over 5,000 children under the age of 6 with dangerous levels of lead in their blood. Now, at this point, it's not getting as much national attention as the numbers are declining here in New York City. But we all remember back in Flint in 2014, how Obama rode in to save the day.
Flint's recovery is everybody's responsibility. And I'm going to make sure that responsibility is met.
Our children should not have to be worried about the water that they're drinking.
We're going to do everything we can to accelerate getting new pipes here in Flint.
It's not just the low-income residents of deindustrialized Michigan that are being affected. Now, people living in the gentrified capital of hipsterism are being affected by contaminated water. We're here in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Williamsburg, which is the hardest hit. Here, 20% of the children have elevated levels of lead in their blood. In Flint, Michigan, it was only 5%. Drinking fountains were closed down in public schools when it was revealed that they had more than 3 times the toxic levels of lead. We decided to talk to expert Joseph Singer, who tests the water here in New York City.
Officially, no water, no amounts of lead in water is considered safe. That's what they say. Now, they do have an action level. The EPA has an action level. The action level is 15 parts per billion. That's what they consider above the threshold. Now, no exposure is good, especially exposure in children. Any exposure could be hazardous. The effects are damage to the nervous system, lower IQ, height issues, behavioral issues. There's many issues that can come about from high exposure to lead.
Living in Williamsburg is not cheap. Average rent is around $3,500. I wonder if locals here know about the danger posed by contaminated water. Some of the water in this area has contaminated lead in it. I mean, have you heard about this?
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about it.
I'm surprised. How is that possible?
I think it's definitely an area of concern. I mean, the population here is pretty young. There's also a lot of families.
You should get what you pay for, and with a couple $1,000s rent should come, clean water and air, which we don't have either because it's congested.
Yes, after Flint, Obama told us that we had learned our lesson. But it looks like the Midwestern city was just the tip of the iceberg. Now, even the richest parts of the Big Apple are affected. Caleb Mopin, RT, New York.